Welcome to the Hidden Truth Stories channel. Today, we're diving deep into an unexplored historical mystery. The air above the Andaman Sea, heavy with moisture and the promise of tropical rain, shimmered with a heat that seemed to intensify the mystery surrounding one of Earth's most isolated and fiercely guarded places. North Sentinel Island ***, a small emerald jewel set in the vast blue expanse, technically part of India, yet governed by its own immutable law of non-contact, a law enforced for millennia by its inhabitants, the Sentinelese people, a Paleolithic society whose origins and history remain utterly, defiantly unknown, a perfect living enigma. The scene and the core mystery of North Sentinel Island are established, focusing on its isolation and the Sentinelese as a living enigma. Professor Julian Marsh, a highly respected American historical linguist specializing in lost tongues and pre-Dravidian cultures, watched the island from the deck of his chartered research vessel, the **Kala Pani**, its name meaning black water, an appropriate moniker for a vessel skirting the edge of the world's last true historical frontier. Julian wasn't interested in making contact, a pursuit he considered unethical and foolish. His mission was to decipher the unspoken history of the Sentinelese, a compilation of clues gathered over decades from obscure colonial records, fragmented geological surveys, and the almost unbelievable whispers of local Andaman Islanders. The protagonist, Professor Julian Marsh, and his specific non-contact mission, deciphering the island's unspoken history, are introduced. The whispers spoke not of savage hostility, but of a deep, ancient guardianship a protective mandate the Sentinelese had carried since the dawn of time. Julian's theory, one that had cost him tenure and reputation, held that the island was not a simple, isolated refuge, but the location of a pre-Diluvian archive, a repository of knowledge intentionally sealed away from the corrupting forces of what the ancients termed the Age of Iron, and that the Sentinelese were the fiercely dedicated keepers of that knowledge, their hostility a duty, not a natural characteristic, a perfect, unbroken link to a lost epoch. Marsh's radical theory is unveiled. The island is an intentional archive, and the Sentinelese are its dedicated, protective keepers. His companion on this quiet, almost illicit vigil was Dr. Priya Sharma, a brilliant, young Indian bioarchaeologist whose family roots lay in the Nicobar Islands, giving her an invaluable, intuitive understanding of the region's deep cultural narratives. Priya was tracking an anomaly in the island's tidal patterns, an unexplained, subtle harmonic resonance detected by deep-sea seismic buoys placed far outside the exclusion zone, a resonance that defied natural explanation and seemed to pulse rhythmically, suggesting a massive, subterranean, man-made structure interacting with the sea's immense energy. The second character, Dr. Priya Sharma, is introduced, and her discovery of a major seismic anomaly beneath the island, a subtle rhythmic pulse, is highlighted. She held a specialized sonar tablet, its screen displaying shimmering, colorful heat maps that contoured the island's hidden topography, revealing not the expected simple bedrock, but a complex, geometric network of structures running beneath the densely forested interior, structures whose scale suggested a feat of engineering far surpassing anything attributed to a hunter-gatherer society. Specifically, a massive, submerged **ring structure encircling the island, stabilizing its shoreline against millennia of erosion, the silent, undeniable proof of a lost civilization beneath the impenetrable jungle canopy. The site of the jagged, pristine shoreline, famous for the aggressive reception given to any visitor, now took on a terrifying new dimension for Julian. The arrows weren't just protecting a people. They were protecting a **vault**, a historical time capsule whose secret mechanism was clearly still operational, subtly harnessing the kinetic energy of the Indian Ocean itself. Priya's sonar confirms a colossal, submerged geometric structure, reinterpreting the island as a technologically protected vault. Julian returned to the historical clues, focusing on the story of the 1880 colonial landing **, a disastrous but meticulously documented attempt by the British Royal Navy to civilize the islanders, an event usually cited for its cruelty, but which Julian interpreted for its strange, almost unbelievable details. The original journals recorded that the landing party, after capturing a few individuals, noted that the small interior clearing they reached was dominated by a colossal, highly stylized **T-shaped monolith **, not unlike those later found at Göbekli Tepe, thousands of miles away, whose material was described as dark, glassy, and cold to the touch, humming faintly, and upon which was etched a single, intricate *** spiral glyph that colonial scholars dismissed as primitive art. The narrative shifts back to historical evidence, the 1880 landing and the key discovery of a humming T-monolith bearing a crucial spiral glyph. Julian believed this spiral was the key, the symbol of the archive, the signature of the pre-Diluvian builders. He connected this glyph to similar spirals found only in the most obscure Polynesian and South American mythologies, all linked to legends of a great, global civilization that flourished during the Ice Age before being swept away by the melting glaciers, suggesting that North Sentinel Island was not merely isolated, but a deliberately preserved global nodal point **, a hidden terminal left active by the survivors of the ancient cataclysm. Priya, watching the sonar, saw the geometric network beneath the island's center suddenly pulse with greater intensity, responding, almost sympathetically, to the historical memory Julian was invoking, the island's energy field momentarily strengthening. The spiral glyph is linked to global pre-Diluvian myths, strengthening the nodal point theory, and the island's energy reacts visibly on the sonar. The confluence of the historical text and the active seismic data was too compelling to ignore. They weren't dealing with simple anthropological isolation. They were observing a functioning, millennia-old * security system. Julian, rejecting any notion of landing, instead proposed a dangerous, highly speculative acoustic experiment. To transmit a precise *** harmonic frequency, known from the deep structure of certain ancient Sanskrit and Tamil texts, frequencies Julian believed were the remnants of the global language of the builders, a language designed to interact directly with crystalline structures, a potential key to the Sentinel system. The focus shifts to an active countermeasure. Julian proposes a risky acoustic experiment using ancient harmonic frequencies as a potential passphrase key. He had a deep belief that if the Sentinels were truly ** guardians **, their hostility would be instantly revoked if the right passphrase, the proper historical identifier, was presented, a recognition code woven into the very fabric of the language they were protecting. Priya, despite her unease about interfering with the island's profound stillness, calibrated the vessel's low-frequency acoustic array, setting the generators to emit a specific, non-audible wave pattern based on the mathematical ratios embedded in the T-monolith's spiral glyph. As the * Kalapani drifted just outside the visual range of the shore, the generators whined, sending a deep, resonant tone vibrating through the black water, a sound felt more than heard, a primal hum that penetrated the dense ocean depths and struck the immense, submerged ring structure encircling the island. The acoustic key is prepared and deployed, sending a deep, resonant hum to the submerged security structure. The reaction was immediate and profound. The sea surface around the island, already shimmering, began to smooth out unnaturally, the waves ceasing their chop and rolling into glassy swells, exactly like the inexplicable asterisk silencing of the sea asterisk recorded in the chronometer mystery Julian had studied, a clear sign that the localized physics of the island were being rapidly and drastically altered. On the sonar tablet, the pulsing rhythmic energy beneath the island reached a screaming intensity, and the intricate geometric network, previously static, began to slowly rotate, like the massive gears of a colossal, subterranean clock. The activation begins, marked by the unnatural silencing of the sea and the subterranean geometric network starting to rotate. Then, as the harmonic frequency reached its peak intensity, a small, barely visible section of the dense jungle canopy near the center of the island, a place no modern person had ever successfully reached, began to glow with a faint, steady blue-green luminescence a soft, unnatural light filtering up through the leaves, marking the exact spot where the colonial journals had placed the T-monolith. The Sentinels, who Julian had expected to see emerge, did not appear. Instead, the profound stillness held, the island's energy focused entirely on the emergence of the light, the activation of the archive now complete, its protective system having recognized the ancient password. The archive's location is revealed by the blue-green luminescence, confirming the successful password activation. Priya, her voice tight with awe, pointed to the screen. The seismic imaging was now showing a large, cylindrical section of the island's core rapidly, yet smoothly, rising from the surrounding bedrock, pushing aside jungle and soil with impossible, silent precision. A massive elevator mechanism brought to life after 12,000 years of dormancy. The rising cylinder revealed not a simple stone wall, but a structure composed entirely of the same dark, glassy, crystalline material described in the 1880 journals, polished and glowing with the blue-green light, a pristine, monumental column pushing through the jungle, confirming the ancient technology. The physical archive emerges. A massive, crystalline cylinder silently rises from the island's core, demonstrating advanced lost technology. As the cylinder stabilized, a small, horizontal aperture, a perfect square, slid open at its base, revealing not a tunnel but a room bathed in pure white light. And standing silently within the room, illuminated and utterly still, was a single figure, a Sentinelese male, but dressed in robes woven from an unknown light-refracting material. His posture not of a hunter, but of a priest or librarian . His eyes fixed on the distant vessel, a look of profound, eternal recognition crossing the 12 millennia between them. He held in his hands a single object, a perfectly spherical orb of clear, humming crystal, the archive itself, the sealed truth of the pre-Diluvian world. The guardian is revealed, a robed Sentinelese librarian holding the central, humming crystalline archive orb. The Sentinelese guardian, without any gesture of threat or welcome, simply held the crystal orb forward, a silent invitation, a gesture of completion, as if the activation was not for their benefit but for the world's, the time of the archive's release finally arriving after the long sleep of human civilization. Then, in a blink, the Sentinelese figure stepped back into the blinding white light of the chamber, the spherical orb placed gently back onto an unseen pedestal within. The small, square aperture slid shut, the blue-green light faded, and the colossal crystalline column began its slow, silent descent back into the island's core. The guardian makes a silent offering, But the archive immediately begins its slow, silent descent, sealing itself once more. The jungle canopy silently closed over the scar, the soil and trees folding back into place with impossible speed, sealing the archive once again. The event a perfectly controlled, localized asterisk spatial and material erasure asterisk, reminiscent of the vestiges of the impossible, leaving no physical trace of its momentary emergence. The sea immediately returned to its choppy, ordinary state, the deep humming ceased, and the island became once more the silent, defiant fortress it had always been, the enigma intact, the truth sealed, the contact refused, but the asterisk message delivered asterisk. The archive reseals completely, mirroring the vestiges' erasure, leaving the island as a silent fortress but with its message delivered. Julian and Priya stood stunned, knowing they had witnessed the intentional, momentary unsealing of the world's oldest archive, a historical truth that could not be documented in photos or samples, but only held in the profound, shaking certainty of their memory. A message that confirmed the Sentinels were not primitive isolationists, but the final, faithful wardens of a knowledge too vast, too powerful, and too sacred for the modern world to possess. Its secrets waiting patiently for the next harmonic alignment, the next moment the sea would be silenced. The story concludes with the emotional and intellectual consequence of the witnessed event, confirming the Sentinels as sacred wardens of a vast, undocumentable truth. This mysterious journey ends here, but stay tuned for more untold stories in our next video. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any new stories. Thank you, and see you again.